Boom, shaka-laka. What's up, what's up, what's up? Hey, been thinking about something. So, as you guys know or may not know, I was in a group that did, mass evangelism might not be the right, I think that is the word for it. Crusade type of evangelism, kind of like Billy Graham or Reinhard Bonnke or one of those types of guys, where you're doing evangelism in stadiums around the world. So I did that for about a decade. And one of the things that I always heard people say when they're doing mass evangel or when they're critiquing mass evangelism is they would say something like only 10% of people who get saved at those events actually stay saved, or something like that. Some people would even drop an even lower number. Actually, I don't know if anyone actually ever knows that for reals, but that's always the number. 10% or 7% or something. So I started to think about this years ago, because whenever the disciples would go and do evangelism, they would leave behind churches, and so this is how I think mass evangelism groups should do their follow-up. There's only one thing that Jesus said to pray for when you're going on outreach, and who knows what that one thing is. If you've been in my class, I repeat it over and over and over and over again. Can you guess what it is? One sec, let me make sure I can get onto this road. So there's one thing Jesus said to pray for when you're going on an outreach, when you're doing evangelism, and it's not souls to get saved. It's not more people to go to heaven when they die. You guys know the one thing that Jesus said to pray for? The one thing Jesus said to pray for was for workers. In Luke 10, right? He says, ask, the harvest is plentiful, the workers, if you ask the Lord of the harvest to raise up workers for the harvest field. So how do you know when you have a worker, right? You have a worker when they start to do some work. So I think the problem with the mass evangelism follow-up system has largely been they're not trying to get workers, they're trying to get members into a church, right? So what if you switched it from just getting people to raise their hands and say yes to Jesus, but you gave them something to do, some work to do immediately? Now, if you look at the guys that would get saved in the ministry of Jesus, right? For example, the Gadarene demoniac or the woman at the well. They have this encounter with Jesus, and Jesus sends them out to immediately go and share the story of how Jesus impacted their lives. Now, this is what I think you should be doing in your follow-up system, is asking this question. This is what I've started doing. This is what I've been having our students do as well, is someone says yes to Jesus, you lead them through a prayer, and I say this, tell me the names of 5 people who need to hear about what God did in your life, and I have them name the people, and I say this, now, out of this list, who are you going to share with before you go to bed tonight, right? Now, this is how you know you found a worker. You call them the next day, and you say, hey, how did it go sharing with your friend last night? Right? I think probably 8 out of 10 will be like, oh, I didn't do it yet. Right? 1 out of 10 will probably be like, oh, it went pretty good. We had a good talk. And then the last one, what he'll probably be doing, you say, how to go sharing with your friend? He goes, oh, I shared with that guy. I shared with the other 4 people on my list, and I went and told 20 people on the street. Right? That's how you know you found a worker. So send people out immediately with some work to do. Now, you got to answer 3 questions: the why, the who, and the how, right? Why should they go share? Who are they going to share with, and how are they going to do it? So that is for another day, my friend. But this is what I think my friends should be doing, and this is what we're starting to implement. What do you guys think?